Are you doing everything that you can to diversify your investments? How's it going, everybody? Empire Precious Metals. If you're new to the channel, I'm a guy in a bucket talking about precious metals. I'm not a financial advisor. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, get the bell notification click. That way you get updated with any new content. Today I'm talking about something very important, and that's diversifying your investments. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just merely some things that, when you become an adult, you start picking up on some of this stuff as you're getting older. And let me explain what I mean. There's got to be various things that you are invested in and have exposure to in order to, I would say, successfully be able to retire. That is, I'm sure, everybody's goal in life is to be able to work and be able to retire comfortably. And it's not a surprise. Many of you know that it's becoming harder and harder to do. That being said, we definitely want to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to protect ourselves, whether it be protecting our investments through different financial vehicles. And what I'm saying is, when you diversify, you have to have your eggs in many, many baskets. For example, most basic and common is a savings and checking account. And a lot of people within the stacking community are going to go, boo, savings and checking. We don't trust the banks. Put all of your money in silver and gold. Well, I mean, that is why I do put a lot of my money in silver and gold, is because gold and silver stands the test of time and has been a form of money for thousands of years, right? So you definitely want to have your money in savings and in checking, right, in order to pay your bills, but savings for a rainy day. Now, the gold and silver, I'm going to put right there with it, because I look at gold and silver as another form of savings, right? Worst comes to worst, if I am in a bind and I need to free up some cash real quick, I could go sell off 1 ounce of gold, free up some of that cash, and then apply that to a bill. The one thing about gold and silver, at least in my opinion, is, for me personally, I have been a lot more disciplined in saving money in this way. There's something about holding the metals. You just don't want to get rid of it, at least in my opinion. I'd rather scrounge every last dime I can from different means than selling off any of my silver and gold. So this has been a very good way for me personally in order to save some of my money. But gold and silver is definitely something that you want to be invested in. And going along with that, you want to have some stocks. Now, we all know that at an early age, you want to have some stocks that are higher risk, and because you've got more time to weather the storm if there's big crashes within the stock market, right? As you get older, you want to kind of limit the amount of exposure you have to those higher, more volatile stocks, because you're getting ready to retire. So you want to be able to have less exposure to those volatile stocks, right? But stocks is definitely one thing that you want to have some of your money in, whether that be in mutual funds, right? And I do have mutual funds set up. I do have a separate account for myself in E-Trade, in which I am buying and selling stocks and holding. This is something that I do kind of on the side for fun, but the mutual fund, that's kind of like towards retirement. You definitely, along the same lines of stocks, is your 401k, which is your retirement, or your 403b, depending on what profession you are in. I happen to have been in sales and in corporate prior to getting into education, so I do have a 401k. And now, because I'm in education, I do have a 403b, and I do have some exposure to various stocks through the 401k and the 403b. You also want to have some life insurance policies, whether it be term and whole life. That's a topic for another discussion. I do happen to have both, right? I have life. I have whole and I have term. right? And the benefits, there's different benefits for both of these. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I have the time to get into that right now. Lastly, more recently, you do want to start thinking about getting into crypto. I know a lot of people within the stacking community hate the idea of crypto, a lot of them, but you are also starting to see a major shift in it. I mean, think about it. Those of you that are watching this channel right now, this video, you have seen a lot more people within the comments and the people that are creating the content, myself included. They are posting videos talking about stacking crypto. But now when I get back into all of these different things, right, you don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket, whether it be just gold and silver and maybe a little bit in savings. You want to have your money in all of these different areas. And I'm sure I'm leaving off some others. I do have 529 plans set up for my children for education. But when it comes to stocks, right, there's a lot of people who would rather buy physical gold and silver, not so much gold and silver stock. But every once in a while, you do get presented with a tremendous opportunity, which I'm going to get into right now. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Stacking Stormtrooper with Empire Precious Metals, and with me today is Neil Woodyer. Neil, CEO of ARIS Gold. So happy to have you. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for inviting me.
I, was looking over some of the information from your company, and to be honest with you, I'm really excited to ask you about your company because, in all honesty, I saw that you had a growth trajectory of a tech stock. Is it true that your company is en route to expand production from the current 25,000 ounces a year to around 200,000 ounces a year?
The mine itself is producing about 25,000 ounces a year and has been since about 1990. They discovered a deposit below it, which is a porphyry deposit. And by accessing that, we can substantially increase production. It'll take about 2 years to do. It'll take about 250 million. But nevertheless, we will be able to get 200,000 ounces a year out of it, averaging about 175,000 ounces a year for about 13 years on what we know today.
Wow.
At the same time, we're doing more exploration. Hopefully, we'll find more. Results so far have been very good, and we should be able to extend the mine life beyond that 13 years. So yes, effectively, you are correct.
That's
part of our strategy of building a intermediate gold mining company.
That's insane. It's very exciting too, to say the least, that you are sitting on a substantial increase within just a matter of a couple of years. That's like 700%. Absolutely astonishing. And, I've done several interviews with other gold mining companies, but I'll be completely honest with you. This sounds like a very exciting opportunity, to say the least. The other thing too, what kind of shocked me and surprised me was some of the information I was reading, your company presentation, and the caliber of people involved. It's a lot of these like all-star names that you see, within the mining industry. And, I'm fairly new to all things mining. And like I said, I've conducted some of these interviews, but some of the names that I saw, I've seen around before. So is there no other small cap company in the mining industry with so many executives and directors and advisors, which have collectively created so many successful previous companies?
It's a pretty unique situation, and let me explain it. In 2010, we started a company called Endeavour Mining.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a small mine in West Africa. We built it up. We bought 6 mines over a 6-year period, and we built 2 mines. We then moved that on. We left, the management team left, because it's a very creative management team. It's not a management team that runs businesses once they're mature. We left. We started again a company called Lear Gold 4 or 5 years ago, and we built that up again to about $1 billion of value.
Wow.
And we merged that with Equinox. So if you take those 2 companies that the management team set up over the last, since 2010, the combined market cap of those 2 companies, if you were able to combine them, would be about $10 billion. That we created from scratch. Mm-hmm. We're doing it again in terms of ARIS Gold. And ARIS actually means in the Celtic language, it does mean again. So what we did is we took the management team that's worked with me in the 2 previous companies and put them into the new company. But this time we also brought in some additional directors, which you've referred to. Ian Telfer was the founder of Wheaton River. He was the founder of Wheaton Precious Metals. He built Wheaton River up into Goldcorp and was chairman. David Garofalo was chief executive of Goldcorp after being chief executive of Hudbay. Peter Maroney started Yamana in 2003 and created Yamana and brought it up and was chief executive and is now executive chairman. Frank Giustra and I have been partners for, 15, 20 years in various things. So we've been involved in creating a lot of companies over the years, the group of people. And we've just come together to do this. And we put some money into it to start it off and invested that into what was then called Caldas, is now called ARIS. And this was only 10 weeks ago. So we have this new baby, and we intend to do what we did with Endeavour and what we did with Lear Gold, which is make it into an multi-mine intermediate company over the next 2, 3, 4 years.
What's funny is the one name that you had just mentioned, Frank Giustra. I had seen a recent video of him on Kitco. I actually did like a video reaction to it where he was basically calling out, I forget the guy's name, who's heavily involved into crypto. And Frank Giustra, and he was saying like he wanted to have a debate with them with regard to gold versus crypto. And so you do have a lot of heavy hitter names associated with your company, which is, really exciting, especially for anybody that's looking to invest. They can be rest assured that you have people who have an established track record.
Well, in addition to that, I've known Ian Telfer for 30 years. When I started a financial advisory business, the mining sector, raising debt, he was one of my first clients. Speaking of Yakino, who is Gran Colombia chairman and was chairman of Caldas and is still one of our directors. I've known him for 30 years as well. So we've known Peter for a long time. We've all known each other for a long time, and we all have the same view,
right?
That now is a good opportunity in the market, in the gold market, to build a substantial intermediate gold mining company. And we're all in it together. And in fact, between us, we own 8.5% of the company. We invested cash into it to do that. Between us, we invested 35 million.
Wow.
To do that very thing. So we're all committed and we're all aligned to shareholders.
Right. So let me ask you then, because I know that a lot of people that are going to be watching this video, as well as some of the other people within my niche on YouTube who are doing these types of interviews for various mining companies, I think what's important is for, individuals to be able to also describe and explain some of the unique characteristics for their company, which sets them apart. So what would you say are the top 2 or 3 unique characteristics of ARIS Gold that a lot of other gold companies can't claim about themselves?
Okay, well, I think, first off, I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot of gold companies looking for the investor dollar. And how do you distinguish yourself? How do you become the attractive gold company? You become the attractive gold company by having a management that does what it says it's going to do, by having a portfolio of assets, which we will develop as we have in the past over a period of time. Today, what we have that is unique is, as you said earlier on, a pretty strong management team supported by an incredibly strong board. So we definitely have the people. The other thing is we have this asset, Marmato Mine in Colombia, which the previous management team had done a great job over the past 12 months. They identified this resource beneath it. They did a pre-feasibility study on it. They identified 2 million ounces of reserves. They did managed to arrange a 30-year mine life extension on their permit. And they raised about $240 million. We saw this gap, so we raised the balance of it and put it together. So we've got the people, we've got the asset, and because this is a fully financed project with our financing coming in, finishing the financing gap, and because of the people who are associated with our directors, who have had tremendous experience, we have pretty unique access to the equity markets and other financing markets to build the company, to do additional acquisitions forward. So those are our 3 points of weakness: the people, the product, and also the availability of finance to make it all work and expand.
Excellent. So let me ask you this then. What would you say are the top 1 or 2 catalysts for the company?
Oh, I think in the long term and medium term, it's M&A. In the
Yeah.
short term, it's making sure we have the right operating plan to put Marmato from that 25,000 ounce mine to the 200,000 ounce mine. And that's exactly what we're going through now. As I say, we've been in charge only for about 10 weeks, but soon we will appoint an EPCM contractor. Soon we'll have our clear plan of how to go forward. That's a catalyst. Another catalyst is the exploration program that Prime Management started, which is showing very good results so far, finishing it off, and maybe we can increase the size of the mine that we're dealing with. So that's the other catalyst. And as I say, the third one, and the most important in the medium and long term, is M&A capability, both of doing deals and making decisions and financing acquisitions and developing them.
I was going to say, would you say that that seems to be one of the major ways for any mining company necessarily to grow and expand is merely from mergers and acquisitions?
I think if you can combine a strong merger and acquisition capability with an operating capability that can also build mines. As I said at Endeavour, we actually did about 6 acquisitions, but we built 2 mines.
Okay.
And we improved the mines. When we did Lear Gold, we bought the Los Filos mine in Mexico. Within a matter of months, we doubled the size of the reserve. We put a double expansion plan in place. So if you can combine the capability of construction and expansion with the M&A, you've got a
solid
capability.
Absolutely. And, and I know we talked that you said within the next couple years, you're expecting to pull those hundreds of thousands of ounces of gold out of the ground. What is the vision of your company, let's say 4 or 5 years from now?
Well, I would expect that we've done maybe 1 or 2 transactions, additional M&A transactions, before we pull the gold out of
All right.
the expansion gold. So our vision is to build a Latin American focused, maybe a little bit American, but mainly Latin America focused intermediate gold company that people want to invest in, that we make it attractive for shareholders to want to participate in. So we have a portfolio of mines in different countries, and we have a portfolio of various stage projects. We have the operating mines, we have some mines that are being built, and we have some exploration. If you put those things together, you get a very attractive proposition, investment proposition. That's what we intend to do over the next 2, 3, 4 years.
So now here's another question for you, and I know you're not necessarily a gold analyst per se, but there has been a lot of talk lately with the popularity of crypto. Some people have been making the connection that, a lot of people have kind of jumped on the crypto bandwagon. So a lot of the money that you would have seen people, investing in gold and putting into gold has kind of gone over to crypto and not so much gold. Now, as you can see on my screen here, I'm a believer in gold. I'll try to buy it as much as I possibly can. What support do you see, though, for higher gold prices?
First of all, I see other things come and go. And we've seen .coms, and we've seen all sorts of things come and go, and now we're seeing crypto. So put it in that kind of category. Gold is there for the long term, has been for the long term. I think with the political, may I say, incapabilities of some countries to lead sensibly and strongly, with the pandemic, which is by no means over, and who knows where it's going, the amount of money that has to go in, and quite rightly, to support people over this period of time, the economies are just going to see so much inflation in the future, and that is obviously very good for gold as a safe haven for currencies and things like that. So yeah, I think before the pandemic we saw potential for a very, very strong gold market on a cyclical basis and on an economic mismanagement basis. And now with the pandemic as well, it's just magnified.
I actually completely agree with you. I mean, I have, peanuts thrown into crypto because it's one of those things that, I don't want to be one of the individuals that said, oh man, I really should have put some money in there. But with gold, I mean, it's tried and true. It stands the test of time. It's been around for thousands of years. And so, whenever I get the opportunity to do any sort of discussion with an individual such as yourself, I jump on it because I love talking about this stuff. And you know, I'm very excited for you and for the upcoming projects and what you see that's going to be happening with your company. And I really do strongly urge my viewers who are watching this video to definitely check out your company. I'm going to post the URL for your company below in the description. So, you know, I really do appreciate your time, Neil. Do you have any last remarks or questions for me before we wrap up?
No, I would just like to thank you and say I think this is a fantastic time to be doing what we're doing, and the fact we've done it before, the market is right for us, and we can jolly well get on and do it again and make our shareholders and ourselves a lot of money.
Awesome. Neil Woodyear, thank you so much, CEO of ARIS Gold. Pleasure having you, and I hope to speak with you again real soon.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Cheers.
So with that, guys, I really do think that it's your in your best interest to really check out ARIS Gold. I'm going to leave the information down below. Definitely take a look at the information that they have on their website. Read over their prospectus and their pitch book. They've got a lot to offer, and being an intermediate-sized gold mining company with potentially approximately 200,000 ounces of gold that can be accessed within the next couple years, seems to me that that would be a tremendous you know, impact on their balance sheet, which can bring a ton of cash into the company. So definitely check out ARIS Gold. I appreciate all of you for watching. Again, make sure to be diversifying your money. Don't just put it all in physical. Look into all these other areas, and make sure you hit that like button. And I just want to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, I'm the Stacking Stormtrooper. Check out these videos. Until next time, long live the Empire.